Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome, everybody. This is Andrew David. This is Blake Newbar's High Performance Call to Partner program. Today is Labor Day here in the United States. All sorts of different explanations for why that is. Go ahead, look it up. It's a day to celebrate people that are working. It was started many, many moons ago. Lots of factories and other stuff going on. Don't need to dive too deep into it. And obviously, a lot of people have decided to take today off for themselves. So good for them. Go out, have an amazing time. That said, what I wanted to talk about today, I was speaking with a member recently, and they were saying that they had listened to some of my calls from, beginning of the year. And they had listened to some of the more recent ones, and they said that it seemed like things were getting heavier. It was more intense, more serious. And they said, not that anything's wrong, but I felt like, things could be lightened up. And I kind of thought about it. And obviously the training that I give here, as much as we get into, content, and we're doing skills and we're doing mindset and we're going over different tasks that you can do there. Obviously it's affected by things that I'm working on and growth that I'm going through. And not that things are bad at all in any way with me, but obviously when you go through periods of growth, things tend to be a little heavier, right? Now, that said, I do recognize that occasionally we need to bring not necessarily levity into it, because I'm not exactly a stand-up comedian. I'm often told my jokes fall flat, so I'm totally okay with that. I'm not trying to be funny on here, but what I did want to do, it got me thinking a little bit about just being happy and finding happiness. And we've spent the last nearly 2 years, and in this weird lockdown, and people have lost jobs and people have gotten sick and some people have passed. And then being locked in has caused depression for some and all of these other things. And there's a shortage of just happiness and positivity in this world right now, whether directly from, too much time spent with the news and media, because, happiness doesn't sell. Happiness doesn't attract people. People don't want to sit down and watch that. It doesn't drive the ratings, as it were. So that's not what they're talking about. Politicians around the world, I don't care where you're at in the world, certainly aren't spending time talking about being happy. And so fewer of our conversations are geared towards that as well. Look, you guys have enough trials and tribulations and everything going on without having to get more of it here. I just want to talk a little bit about being happy and how important that is. And not just, hey, I did something fun, but what that really means. So I got some cool infographics I want to share a little bit. And I want you guys to think about how you've been spending most of your time and where things come into play for yourself. Meaning, am I happier now than I was, or am I working actively on my happiness? Okay, so a few little things to kind of think about as we dive in. Number one, if you're looking to be happy, one thing you need to do is embrace adversity. And I can give you these slides so you don't have to worry about finding every single one of them, guys. And we can dive into it here, but or I'll put it into the Google Drive. But people who've experienced some adversity in life are happier than those who never have. Now, why is that? There's that saying of, you can't understand the bitter until you know the sweet, right? If you're sitting with someone and you ask them to explain what salt is to me without me ever having tasted salt, you'd be unable to, right? You can't say it's salty because I don't know what that is. The same thing with happiness. If you've never experienced sorrow, if you've never experienced difficulty, if you've never experienced adversity, then there's an issue there. Okay, so after adversity, once we get some distance and perspective, then you can understand those challenges. So it'll help shape your identity, increase your resilience, cope better with the stress, and then you become more optimistic. If you are experiencing adversity currently, I want to say September is a month. Can someone correct me if I'm wrong? September, I believe, is Suicide Awareness Month. If you're experiencing adversity, Please seek out help if you need it, but also recognize the strength that you have. You will get through whatever it is that you're dealing with. You have the strength and the power to do that. If you need help, go find it. If you need help from someone around here, then reach out. But understand that adversity can strengthen you and make you into a better person. Now, once you've kind of embraced it, you've dealt with it, you're looking at it in the rearview mirror, here's a couple of things that you can do right now. You can go out, you can do today. Okay, number one, spend a few minutes doing something to brighten someone else's day. Number two, email someone, thank them for something they did for you. Number three, have a meaningful conversation with a good friend. Number four, take a few seconds to help someone else. And then number five, savor a memory. I loved the examples as I was looking things up. I love the fact that for a quick bit of happiness, to get something right away, 4 out of those 5 examples involved somebody else, right? Getting out of your own head. Because too often when you feel that depression, it's because you've walled yourself off even more and you've shrunk down and you're just kind of, you're stuck in your own mind rolling through everything. So go call somebody, go do something, go help somebody, reach out to somebody, do something that gets you out of your head. If you don't have the capability of doing that, then find some happy memory. And I've done some trainings on, your Phoenix moment, that moment where you felt like you were in the zone, some moment where you felt some kind of happiness, whether that was the moment that you got a diploma, you got a raise, the birth of a child, the time when you asked or somebody asked you to marry them, a happy moment during that marriage, some vacation moment, something. Figure out something that triggers some of those happy memories. Okay. If you need to pull out some pictures, if you need to turn on music, whatever. So those are some things that can increase happiness instantly right now. Those are some elements. Okay. That said, here's a few other things. Here's how we do this in the long run. Relationships, experience, helping others, and gratitude. Now, the challenge group that we've got started with the affirmations. Part of those affirmations involve gratitude, right? I'm grateful for, I am this, I show gratitude by. Those are elements of affirmations that you should always include. Sitting down and writing out in a gratitude journal, writing down what you're grateful for, really honing in on some of those things, the small and the large. In the month of July, I challenge you guys to create new experiences, to go out and create new experiences. So that still holds true. Some of you took it on. You went headfirst into doing some things that you hadn't done before. I challenge you again to find some kind of new experience. Okay. Jeannie was saying National Suicide Prevention Week, September 5th and September 11th. There you go, right now. And then, the whole month. So we talk a lot about being happy. We don't look at what you need to do in order to get there. It's some simple things, guys. Go experience life a little bit. Be grateful for what you've got. Find ways to help others. Nurture powerful relationships. You all have right there in your hands simple things. And if you're dealing with any kind of depression, if you're going, I'm just, not happy or I'm not happy enough, nurture those moments more. Just do it. It's easy to say. I mean, I don't even need a show of hands. I know a number of you have shared with me that you've experienced depression or something along those lines at one point or another in your life. And when you're in the midst of it, it's not the easiest to think like, oh, I'll just go be happy, right? Well, I'll just be different. It starts with little actions though. So look at what you need to do to be a little happier. Okay. One last thing here. Talking about gratitude. Great quote from Brene Brown. In 12 years of research, I have never interviewed a single person with the capacity to really experience joy who does not also actively practice gratitude. In one study, people who practice gratitude by jotting down 3 good things that happen each day for 1 week felt happier and less depressed for up to 6 months. Guys, after a week of writing down things that you're grateful for, So writing down 21 things, 3 things a day over the course of a week, 3 things, increased happiness and decreased depression for up to 6 months. See how powerful that is? Just with a little bit of gratitude. Sleep better, higher sleep quality, more likely to engage in healthy behaviors like exercise. Guys, gratitude. So here's your challenge for today. We're going to keep this nice and short. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for today. And then go do and write down more. Some of you guys are overachievers. Go write down more. That's totally fine. And then pick one of these 5 ways to boost your happiness instantly. Have a conversation, spend time doing something to brighten someone else's day. Email a handful of people. If you're going to email or text someone, do more than one. If you're going to have a conversation, then call and just say, what's going on? How are you doing? And try and keep that conversation positive. And so lead it off by what it's saying with the email. Hey, I called. I know it's been a little while since I've called. I just wanted to thank you for your friendship. Well, that's weird. Why would you call about that? Well, look, I know it's a little weird. I was just sitting here thinking, and it's been such a crazy few months. And I was looking at who's made an impact in my life. And I just wanted to say thank you. Your friendship has been instrumental in giving me moments of happiness throughout the years. And I treasure that. I savor that. So thank you. Well, dang, man, you too, bro. Blah, blah, whatever. Have some of those conversations. Okay. It's not as easy right now in the world that we're in to get out and help someone, but you can. So pick one of those things. I mean, all of those you can do in under an hour if you really wanted to. Every single one of them. 5 ways to instantly boost your gratitude or your happiness. And then if you add in some different things on a list of why you're grateful today, okay, go ahead and do that. And check in. All of you guys, just about all of you are inside the Skype group. Just check in and say, did my gratitude, did whatever else you did to help increase your happiness today. Go out and do that. Making burgers for our neighborhood with next door neighbors. That's awesome. Yeah. Today's a great day for it. If you're cooking out, walk something over to a neighborhood. Some neighbor doesn't have family today. Some neighbor that you've got doesn't have family, right? Cook a dish, take them over, invite them over. Just stop by and say, hey, you don't even know me. There are people in this building, and I've been living in this condo now for years. There are people that outside of like a little nod as I'm walking the dog, I got no idea who they are. Maybe today I go have a conversation, right? Maybe without the dogs because they'll freak out and I won't be able to. But go do something today, ladies and gentlemen. Find a way to increase your happiness. Go be better. Show up this week. And find ways to always rise up from the ashes, fly like the phoenix. Have an amazing day. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.